Okay, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Monday. Another week, thank God. Charting our way off from spring to summer. Thank God my family and I were able to celebrate the bar mitzvah of our son this weekend. And as this thing was going on, I knew there was a lot to do with the bar mitzvah of my child and what we're doing together every day. And it took me a little bit to sort of put it all together, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. We've been talking a lot about the idea of vision, rituals, vision. We're not going to sort of just touch it and go. The goal of this show is not so that we can just sort of get a couple of words in and then sort of like assume that because I understand the concept is a piece of me. In order to actually change, an idea has to go from being that which we understand to an awareness. Very different. When somebody changes a status, their awareness changes. When someone goes from being single to married, marriage isn't just like an idea, like, oh, I get it. Like, there's a woman, I'm married to her. Like, oh, okay, well, what do I got to do? What does she got to do? This works perfectly. The way it's supposed to work is it's an awareness that changes. You have another human being now who's a part of your life. If you're like hanging out with the guys going like, wait, what did I forget? Oh, right. I'm married. Hold on. You missed the point. You understood it. It's not an awareness. There's a concept in our prayers where we say that we should start it in our minds and take it into our hearts. So vision and rituals and actions and thought, these are not just ideas we're discussing. These are awarenesses that the more we hit it and understand it, the more we get through it, the more we use the same words over again. Neuroplasticity, crossover, all in. These are like words that we're going to keep on using because as we get through it, we get into life and we start seeing those things again and again and again. So this weekend, we celebrated our son's bar mitzvah, but it wasn't until yesterday that I was able to actually process it all. Now, he's our second child to be bar mitzvah. So when you have one first, you have a picture in your mind what you want for the second one. And the picture that we had in our minds was very different than what my son got this weekend. The warmth of the synagogue that we pray in, when the child comes down off the beam after reciting his blessings, and the whole shul envelops him in cheer, like that was a dream. We couldn't wait for that to happen. Jam-packed synagogue, people coming in from the whole neighborhood, the child feeling like $1 million, the hall, the speech, the dancing, his friends, family. I mean, the whole thing that we had in mind, a weekend filled with family staying in our home, meals together. The experience that we had in our vision was disrupted entirely. But if you understand what vision really is, you realize that it really wasn't. When we spoke about vision, and for those of you who haven't gotten the vision exercise too, I apologize. Hopefully we'll get to it all this week. Thank you for emailing, and if you still want it, if you're tuning in right now for the first time, thank you. If you're coming back, thank you even more. If you're looking for the workbook, please email us. We'll get it to you with God's help. But the idea of a vision is not that I'm going to picture something in my mind and then I'm going to go out and get it. It's not. It seems like it is, and you have to pretend it is. This is the beauty, the power, you got to get underneath it. A vision isn't something that you picture to go get. A vision is something that you picture to go get in order to understand who you are. The exercise of having a vision is not so that you can have the vision. It's not so that you can do things. Having and doing are ways to uncover your being. You have a vision for a reason. There's a reason why your vision is different than my vision. It's because two of us have two very different tasks on this world. We have different needs. We have different inclinations. We have different souls. And we're in this world for different reasons. And it's really difficult to sort of isolate that. You can't just find yourself. This idea that you can just like go somewhere and sit and meditate and find yourself. It could be true. It's just not a very Jewish concept. There's no place in our wisdom, in the wisdom that I thought. And by the way, I haven't found it in, and again, I'm not a world's expert, but even in the world of the research that I've done in science and in performance and even in the business world, I've almost never found anybody that started a company because he was sitting around doodling and going, I want to be a. What happens is you want to be because you've seen it someplace else. You don't appreciate through neuroplasticity that you saw someone that created a connection, that person was successful. That's what my grandfather did. My family always. That professor, that teacher, that documentary, that movie, something happens that puts ideas into your head. It's not like some pure internal thought. Our vision is influenced by everything around us. So it's really hard to get inside who you want to be. And who you want to be is complex. It's not just one thing. So you can imagine the challenge. That's why some people feel empty. That's why I get emails and continue emailing me. Thank you. I feel empty. I feel empty. My life is great. I feel empty. My life is great. I feel empty. I've got a wonderful family, but I feel empty. I got a great career, but I feel empty. You know, sometimes I get these emails. And it's true. It's not because you're empty. It's because life's complex. And there are parts of you that are not been given expression to because the other parts which have been given expression have been taking over. And so as a result, there's like pieces of you that just haven't come out yet. So the career stuff may be taken care of, but the familial stuff, the spiritual stuff hasn't. So you feel like your career is okay, but that's not all I am. There's more to me. And I don't know why I feel empty. The reason why you feel empty is because that little piece of you is like, what's up? You're not tapping into me. You can have a parent, a mom or a dad looking at a beautiful family and everyone's good and going, this is all I ever wanted. Why don't I feel like it? And part of the reason, not the entirety of the reason, because we also get into a world of happiness and appreciation and gratitude, which is down the road. But part of it is because there's a bee inside you. There's a being inside you. There's talent inside you that just hasn't yet been given expression. And it doesn't mean you need to be a world expert. That's another one of these great fallacies that the corporate, and I mean corporate, I don't mean like people selling you brands. I mean like there's a whole media world on just like companies and entrepreneurs. It's like a whole world into itself. And like they sell us this bag of goods of like every talent that you had needs to be like all you do. You know why he's so successful? It's all we do. Yes, there are some people that all they do is one thing, but most people live their lives and the joy of life comes from doing more than one thing. And you could do your one thing in a hobby and feel fully fulfilled when you have other things in your life. Doesn't mean that every single thing that you like doing needs to be everything that you do. But we're complex. We have different parts of our beings. We're like prisms. Someone once asked me a question in the last week's Torah portion. We spoke about the tribes. 12 tribes, different flags, different formations. It's fascinating how God walked them out of Egypt. And he had literally formations like armies. The Levites do one things. The priests do one things. Each tribe had a different personality. Someone said to me, he's like, God's asking for trouble. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, really? Why else do you think everybody's fighting for? If everyone was just the same, they'd be okay. If every Jew was just the same, if every human was just the same, if this country was just everyone was the same, it'd be okay. You're asking for trouble when people can be different. And in some cases, they're right, but they're missing the whole point. God's so big, it's the diversity that gives him the respect. You're not greater because you're unidimensional. You're greater because you're diverse. Because you got lots of stuff that you want to be. The challenge is just balancing it all. Giving expression to it all in the right proportion. So when you think about your vision, remember, you're not just going to have one vision, but you got to start. And the ideal day for most people isn't, I wake up and I go to bed and I do one thing. It could be. But usually there's other pieces to it. But the goal of it is not that you're going to go get it. You're only going to get something because in the process of going to get it, you are revealing to yourself your fundamental values. your being. Why did I want that and not that? Why is my ideal day doing this and not that? Because that's who I am. Most of us define what we do by who I am, right? The doing is the most important thing. What's your name? What do you do? Oh, that's it, because I am what I do. That's why people are so stuck, because they got everything they do has to be like a career decision, because who they are is what they do. They're like, their whole life is, what do you do? Some of the greatest people I've met, what do you do? They're looking at you like, what do I do? You want to sit down and want a cup of coffee? Are you joking me? What do I do? Well, how do you do this and do that? They're like, what, are you seriously? Like, what do I do? Like, I don't know. You have an hour? What do I do? Some people, like, their whole lives is, what do I do? What do I do? What am I going to be? What am I going to be? What do we? You take kids and you put them in like a little square peg called school. And what are you going to be? What do you want to be? What do you want to be? What do you be? And the kids like go out of their minds, like as if like by 18 you have to like set yourself in motion for the next 60 years. Are you kidding me? You got to make a living. You got to be responsible. Of course, you can't just be like, but that doesn't mean that you have to like. You could change. You could evolve. You're just bringing out pieces of yourself that's on the inside. You're not a different person. You're just revealing the nuances of who you are. When you're young, you thought that the expression for who you are came in this career. And as you do that career, you realize it's not really the case. And you slowly move over here, and then you add this piece. Then you get a little older and realize, I have enough money in the bank. My kids are out of the house. The truth is, I want to start doing this. And all these things are just part of the incredible complexity of your greatness, of who we are. That's why visions evolve. They don't change, they evolve. They uncover deeper parts of who you are. They become nuanced. That's why great CEOs will sit in a room and hire people to take care of all their weaknesses. But that same guy, when he was 21, ran his own thing in his basement, thought he can run the world, because only when he gets older, he realizes that there's a nuance in what I would love to do. It's this thing, and it's this thing, and it's this thing. He's putting the pieces of his life together. A vision is supposed to uncover the inside. We are not what we do. We do because it's trying to get to who we are. We're trying to uncover who we are. We're trying to understand our place in this world. We're trying to understand what makes us unique. We're trying to understand the things that we do, where we can do it forever and it never feels like work. So when you set your vision, it's not a one-time deal. You set your vision, what you're doing is you're trying to throw a dart into the near future so that you can start to use that to visualize where you want to be going, so that you can uncover that which is inside you. It's not supposed to be painful. You're not supposed to say, like, I want to be a millionaire, and then even though deep down you hate doing the things you're doing, but you do it anyways every day because you got it. No, it's supposed to be like, I want to understand what's my ideal so that I can do it. I'm not saying don't do it. Go do it. Set the ritual. Go do it. Go have it. But understand, while you're doing and while you're having, what you're really doing through the process of journey is you're actually keeping your mind focused on, hey, how does that feel? Hey, how does that feel? Hey, how does that feel? I had this once in a company that I worked with, where they offered me a very lucrative position in the company. And I just couldn't say yes. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was waiting for this. And at the end of the day, I went over to the vice chairman, who was a very close friend and mentor of mine. And he goes, yo, what's more? I'm like, I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. Like, I'm too young to take a decade out of my life and make a little bit more money. I just don't want to do this. I just don't want to. I don't like this work. When I was first starting my career, I would do anything to get to the next level of rung of wherever I was. But the goal of the ideal day and the goal of the vision is for it to be a tool to uncover the things that are inside us. We're uncovering the bees, not just the do's and the haves. And I hope this is clear. If it's not, email me, talk to me. We'll do this together. Vision is not a one-time thing. Vision is a constant process of throwing the dart out a couple of yards in front of you and then working to the dart. And all the way as you're working to that flag that you threw, you're doing it. You're not just sitting around. It's not theory. You're waking up earlier in the morning. You're adding things to your rituals. All the way you're trying to find, is that who, so to speak, who you are? That was the story of my son's bar mitzvah. I wanted him to feel a part of this people. I wanted him to feel loved. I wanted my son to be hugged by a community, by his family. My vision was, the way I would do it is, this synagogue, these people, this weekend in my house, this hall, this, music. I was throwing the flag of my vision because I wanted this for him. And as that became less and less possible, as the weeks turned into to months, and we started realizing that we weren't going anywhere because of this virus, I had to grapple with the fact that the truth is, the doing and the having, the rituals, the preparation, the work to get my son to the vision that I had in mind, that my wife had in mind, was just the surface. Because underneath that surface, there was a bee. There was an inner need. It wasn't the shul. It wasn't the synagogue I wanted. I wanted the hug. I wanted the pride of being a bar mitzvah. I wanted the family to say how much they loved him. And so the vision was just the do and the have. It was like the surface. It was representing the inner bee, the innerness of acceptance and love and warmth and pride. And as we started doing our rituals, which is what happens to people, you start realizing that I'm going after the thing, and that may not happen. But maybe there are other ways to give him the same things that are hidden behind that surface. Maybe there are other ways of giving a 13-year-old the feeling of love and acceptance and warmth and pride. And it all came together. Great friends, great family. One group organized a drive-by, and his kids came by in cars, and they decorated it. One part of the family organized a Kahoot game. He was able to, through Zooms, interact with his grandparents and his cousins and his aunts and his uncles. He was able to stand before and read his portion, but as opposed to doing it in front of a packed audience, he did it in front of just his family and the rabbi. And we videotaped it and showed it to everybody on Zoom. So he got the feedback and the pride. People sent in messages. He was able to sit in front of a desk like I am right now and read a speech to dozens of people. And at the end of the day, I think he felt loved. I think he felt proud. I think he felt accepted. But if it wasn't for the vision of what we had in mind, we wouldn't have pushed for it. We wouldn't have been able to uncover the bee underneath it. That's the goal of vision. You're setting a do and a have. You're setting a clarity, and you're doing your rituals every day to get there. But you're doing your rituals with the eye on what's on the inside. Because sometimes what you wanted you can't get, but you got to fight for it because you don't really know. You don't really know. Most of the times the reason we don't get it because of the Navy. Remember the 40% rule. But all the while, what it's teaching you is, this is what I really want. This is who I really am. And when you start to think like that, you'll see that you've got so many more options than just that one vision that you originally intended. See, many times in life, when you work towards a vision, when you're actually working, and you're fighting, you're pushing towards that vision, along the way, you look to the left and go, hey, wait, I never saw this road before. Hey, this is a road that's better than that road. You never would have saw it because you're standing in point one. As you move towards your vision, all of a sudden now there's the fork in the road that wasn't visible over here. It was only visible halfway down the road to your vision. That's the dynamicness of life. We'll continue talking about this. The concept of be, do, have. For all those that wished us well, thank you very much. We take all the mazel tovs, we'll take it. May we all have only good things, and we share only in Mazel. And only good thoughts, good ideas. We should all have the right visions, and we should fight for them today. It's been an honor to spend the time with you today. With God's help, I cannot wait to speak to you tomorrow. Have a great day.